Welcome back to our Chem 151 video series. In this video, we're going to show you how to find both percent mass and molarity of a solution. The solution we have has 30 grams of sugar dissolved in 450 milliliters of water. Our first question will be, what is the percent mass of sugar in the solution? The formula we're going to use for percent mass goes like this. We'll start with a fraction and put our grams of sugar on top. On the bottom, we'll put our grams of sugar plus our grams of water. You may notice that in line 1 of this question, we've been given the grams of sugar, and that means we know how much sugar there is. That's 30 grams. What we don't know is our grams of water. Now notice that our grams of water are not given, but instead we have milliliters of water and density. We're going to have to use a formula in order to get mass. The formula that we'll use is that density is equal to mass in grams divided by the milliliters. In the second line of this problem, we've been given milliliters and we've been given density, and we don't know what the grams are. We'll have to do a little bit of algebra to this formula, in that we'll have to take our milliliters and multiply them to the other side. When we do this transformation, we'll have that our grams are equal to our density times our milliliters. Our density is given in the second line of this problem as 1 gram per milliliter. We'll multiply that by our milliliters, that's 450. If we multiply those together, the milliliters will drop out and leave only the mass. That's 450 grams. For water, this will be the same as your milliliters. If you have a compound other than water, this will end up different because you'll have a density that is not equal to 1. We take the 450 grams and move that into this position on the bottom of this fraction that says grams of water. Now we'll put the pieces together. Our grams of sugar were 30. On the bottom, we'll have grams of sugar again, still 30, plus 450 from the water. To change this into percent, we will multiply our answer times 100%. Make sure that if you're using certain calculators, you will need to place parentheses around the denominator to show that entire denominator, 30 plus 450, will be on the bottom of the fraction. With certain calculators, if you don't place the parentheses, you'll end up getting a rather strange answer. The answer we get for this question is 6.25 mass percent of sugar. We'll use the same data now to calculate the molarity of sugar as well. The definition of molarity is as follows. We'll abbreviate molarity with capital M, and on the top of our fraction this time will be our moles of sugar. On the bottom of our fraction will be our liters of solution. For the purposes of this question, we'll say that our liters of solution will be based on the water. This isn't strictly true, but it is good enough for our purposes for this course. We'll split this into two parts, piece A for the sugar and piece B for our liters. In part A, we'll find the moles of sugar based on the grams of sugar that we started with. We'll be changing 30 grams of sugar into moles. We'll start by saying 30.0 grams of sugar, and we'll get out of grams and into moles by placing grams on the bottom, moles on the top. We'll also need to find the molar mass of sugar by looking at the number of atoms we have in the formula. So we'll write out carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen for this formula. We will have 12 atoms of carbon, 22 atoms of hydrogen, and 11 atoms of oxygen. We'll multiply those atoms by their mass. If you don't know what the masses are, you can always look them up on the periodic table. To keep our math a little bit simpler, we'll be rounding to the nearest whole number for these atoms. So we'll just use carbon is 12 grams per mole. We'll say hydrogen is 1 gram per mole. And oxygen 16 grams per mole. We'll multiply straight across. 12 times 12 will give 144 for the carbons. 1 times 22 is 22 for the hydrogens. 11 times 16 will give us 176. We'll add all of those together to get the molar mass. We'll get a total of 342 grams per mole for sugar. We'll place that next to the grams, and then 1 next to the moles on top. So our moles of sugar will be 30, multiply 1, divide by 342. We'll end up with 0.0877 for our moles of sugar. This will go on top of the fraction. Now we move to part B, where we get the liters of solution. Now notice we don't have liters, but we do have milliliters. So we'll be changing the milliliters of water to liters. We're going to begin with 450 milliliters. We will multiply by a fraction to get us out of milliliters and into liters. However, according to the SI system, 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters, so we'll put 1 next to liters, 1,000 next to milliliters. If we divide, we will get 0.450 liters. We'll place this on the bottom where liters of solution currently is. For our final step, we will divide the moles over the liters. We'll end up with a molarity of 0.195. We'll abbreviate that, again with an uppercase M, and we'll remind ourselves this is for sugar. And so this is how we get both molarity and percent mass of a compound. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.